Right, the day's finally arrived. I'm quite excited we're going to fit the Hitchcock's decat pipe.
Woohoo!
Yes, we've waited about a week and a half to fit it, so I'm excited to fit it. I know there is actually a guy who rides the BSA in Spain from Valencia, and he wrote on the comment section he's taken delivery of his BSA and he's fitting a Hitchcock's pipe. So I hope you watch this and hopefully you find it a little bit useful. So why am I fitting the Hitchcock's decat pipe? Because essentially I want to remove the cat there to save weight, but also let the engine breathe a little bit easier. I actually like the standard silencer. I think it suits the BSA. It's OEM, it's made from factory like that. So I think this is kind of the minimum level modification where you get the same look and style as before, but with the advantage that the engine breathes a little bit more easily and you're saving weight. So the other options outside of the Hitchcock solution are the tech solution, which is again a decat pipe, but then a slightly upswept silencer, which doesn't have the pea shooter end. That's £264. Let's let this little white Peugeot go past. Not often you see those. That's a 106 1.5 litre diesel, which I actually had in the UK, and I drove that up to the Lake District on one tank of fuel from Wales.
Hear the noise that I'm making right now, Liz.
Amazing little car, 650 miles per tank, 700 miles per tank. So yeah, back to the discussion. The tech solution is good and a lot of people have gone for that, and then you've also got the Moors Speed Racing, which is a whole pipe, and that is chrome plated, mild steel or polished stainless. Now the Hitchcock solution is smaller. I kind of like it because you don't sort of waste the existing silencer, you keep what you've got on the bike, and this solution costs £192 including VAT. What I'll do a before and after. One of the things which we will measure is the exhaust sound before, so I'll probably stand behind this line, record the audio, and then I'll do the same thing after, and then I'll record the audio again at a set level just so you can hear if it's louder or quieter. And the other thing we'll do is we'll weigh this before, and then we'll weigh the gubbins under there, put it in a plastic bag, weigh it, and then we'll be able to see how much weight you've actually lost off the BSA. Okay, so if you are going to do this job, here's some tools which I would suggest you get ready. A 13mm and 12mm socket with an extension bar there, and obviously the socket wrench. You want 3 Allen keys, 4mm, 5mm and 6mm, and a little stubby one. That'll be helpful, I'll show you why later on. You want a 17mm open-ended spanner for the lambda sensor, an adjustable spanner, and that's it actually. Oh, one final thing you do need, you need the special checked jumper that you wear whenever you do any kind of maintenance work. Okay, just remove the lambda sensor. That's one side. This is a 13mm socket just on here. Doesn't want to come out for some reason. Okay, that's the heat shield removed. I need to Allen key. Just slowly loosen that off. If we're lucky, that should allow the downpipe. Well, very little yanking actually. Okay. Just one under here, which you might be able to see. Okay, now just slowly rotate this and pull it out. Now, let's see if we can get the cat out. So you're talking there. I think it's good.
So just so you know, I can't see you at the moment. Yeah, I can't see you though.
There's the battery.
Shape from the accident, if you can see that. So I'm going to have to adjust that somehow. Here? Yeah, perhaps there is raised.
That's it. Just keep moving it round. Make it circular. Yeah.
That's quite circular at the top.
So that's the flat bit. So you need to push this bit like round.
Here's a peak. That's a hell of a peak.
Yeah.
It's getting rounder, I'll tell you that for nothing.
So close now.
Shit. Bloody Hitchcock's making things perfectly. I could always flare that out a bit, but I don't really want to damage that. Here. Shit. It's close. I have to take that off for now. Okay, so you can see old versus new. So it is worth changing. These are quite inexpensive from BSA, so we'll just slot one of those in there, fits perfectly. Now, let's get the exhaust all lined up. This has to come off, I think, for the fitting. Might have to stay off. So this is an unfortunate thing. My R&G crash protection might not be compatible with the decat pipe. Okay, put that to one side for now. Okay, that in there. Okay, now let's just bend this. This has been bent in the accident, so it now needs to be moved out, which I can hopefully do with this. I don't know if that's working or not, but it looks straighter than it was. Go on, motherfucker. Oh, shit, don't want to damage that too much. Okay, see if it lines up now. No, it doesn't fit properly because of this thing.
Can you have the crash bars on this side, or is it the other side that they were fit on? And when we're looking at the bars, one side fitted.
Yeah.
Can you have a bar on one side?
Perhaps. Right, it's the following morning and while I wait for this Land Rover to come past, they love a Land Rover in Mallorca. There's actually a Series 2 Land Rover next to me. So I had to stop recording yesterday because rain stopped play, but now I've got the exhaust pipe on. I just want to share a few tips that I learned during the fitting process that might be useful for you if you're going to fit this exhaust yourself, which hopefully you are. So, number one, attach the header pipe first, and then I would suggest making sure that that's flush against the seal in the cylinder head, and then I would probably add the silencer later and just push that into the header pipe and then align the bolts. That would be the easiest way to do it. Talking of the seal, I would also suggest replacing the seal, because you saw in the video that those two seals actually look very different. My one was a bit worn out and compressed and had burn marks. The other thing to suggest is before you run the bike, wipe down the exhaust in case you've got any grease or oil from fiddling and manhandling it, because that will then mark, as it gets up to temperature, you'll mark the exhaust pipe, and as it's brand new it's nice to keep it as clean as possible for as long as possible. Another tip is when you turn the ignition on, you don't really want to get out on the bike and ride it straight away. Hello. Another Land Rover. You don't want to ride the bike straight away. So you want to let the bike run for 5 minutes and let the ECU relearn the settings from the lambda sensor, because this engine is now going to run a little bit more freely. The exhaust gas is not going to be as restricted when it comes out. So that's another tip. Let the engine run for 5 minutes, let the ECU relearn those settings. I'll let the guy go first. I don't want to delay him. Yeah. Have a look at this dog. Yeah. Thank you.
Great Dane.
It's a really big dog.
Smelly car.
So we actually have fitted the pipe now, and we've had a weight saving of around 5 kilos. You'll have seen from the weight measurements of the decat pipe versus the traditional OEM spec exhaust. Now I'm going to turn the bike on and just let you hear some of the sound now that the exhaust has been fitted. Hopefully you'll find it as pleasing as I did.
And you're going to record the sound as well?
I will record the sound, yeah, and we'll play that at the end of the video so you can hear the comparison. So obviously let's do the startup procedure as BSA recommends. So key in the ignition, side stand up, let the clocks perform their sweep and return to start position, wait for the engine management light to go out, and then thumb the starter. So as you can hear, it does sound a lot louder than before.
You've actually already done the 5 minutes running in, haven't you?
I have done the 5 minutes running in, yeah. So it does sound very much improved. It's really unleashed the 650 single. It sounds like a BSA should. I actually think it sounds like everybody wanted it to sound when the bike was first released. It sounds like, to me anyway, from listening to the other videos, like the original BSA. So it is, in my eyes now, a big thumper, and I'm over the moon with how the exhaust sounds. I also think it looks quite good. It makes the bike look cleaner. It retains the original silencer. What do you think, Zeus?
I love it. I think it, yeah, looks just much more clean, and the sound. You know, I like a big noisy engine. I think it shows off the engine sound rather than sort of muffling it.
Yeah, we've got the original baffle in the tailpipe, so it's not stupidly loud, but it is actually improved. The other thing to mention is that if you do fit the R&G crash protection, this isn't compatible with this exhaust, or in fact many other aftermarket exhausts. Good thing about the Hitchcock solution, it actually doesn't draw your eye too much to the gap there in the frame between this down tube and the engine itself. This pipe seems to fill that gap, whereas others seem to leave a bigger gap there. So that's another difference between Hitchcocks and the rest of the market when it comes to aftermarket exhausts.
So are you a happy man?
I'm over the moon with it. Yeah, I should have probably done this modification earlier because I waited. It's absolutely fantastic. It's not even that much money, and the bike's running perfectly.